Welcome back. We know what is holdout validation and stratified holdout validation techniques. Both have their uses, but we encountered an issue, remember? We had to keep aside a subset of data for validation, which we could not use during the training time. Now in this video, we'll be looking at k-fold cross-validation method, which will address this issue. Previously, while making a holdout validation set, we made 3 partitions of the dataset as shown here for training, validation, and testing. In case of cross-validation, we do not need to explicitly make the validation set. As this video progresses, you'll understand why. But before we look at why cross-validation is useful, let us understand how can we apply it. So first of all, we shuffle the whole dataset or randomize the order of the rows in the dataset. Then we split the data into k-equal groups or k-equal folds as we say, as shown here. Now for every unique group, we do the following. We take a group as a holdout set as shown in the red box and take the remaining data as training set as in the black box here. Now we train the model on this part and evaluate on this holdout set, and the evaluation results of this model are stored. Finally, we repeat this second step with all the other groups. So basically what we are doing here is dividing up the dataset into groups, and we are using one group at a time as validation set and the rest for training. In the next iteration, the validation set changes. So how does k-fold cross-validation solves the issue that we encountered? In case of holdout validation technique, we keep a part of the data aside, while that is not required in the k-fold cross-validation. Also, as we use a single validation set, there are chances that the model might overfit on this validation data. But in k-fold cross-validation, we have multiple validation sets. So the chances of model overfitting on the validation set reduces. Now in case of k-fold cross-validation, we can also ensure the consistency of the model since the model is evaluated on multiple validation sets and not one. Now how do we decide the value of the number of folds or k? I'm sure you've been thinking this since the start of the video. So let's take a moment to understand how to decide the value of k. Generally, having a validation set containing 10 to 20% of the data is considered good. Therefore, a good value of k should lie between 5 to 10. Also, a good value of k should be selected such that it takes as much data as possible for training, but the validation set should be enough to give statistically significant results. Another point to note is that if we set the value of k very low, say k is equals to 1, in that case the training set will be same as the validation set. And if we set it like k is equals to 2, it will be a 50-50 split. Therefore, the data for training will be relatively low. When we go beyond the value of 10, there will be more and more data for training and the size of validation set will keep on decreasing. The computational complexity in this case also increases. When we assign an extreme value to k, which would be equal to the number of observations, in that case, the number of models built over the dataset will be equal to the number of observations in the dataset. This is called the leave one out cross-validation. It is an extreme case of k-fold cross-validation. Let's take a closer look at it. Leave one out cross-validation, as we saw, means using a very large number of models over almost the complete dataset. Therefore, it's computationally very expensive. And as you might have guessed, this technique is not significant when the size of data is very large. Now let me explain this using a simple example. So suppose we have 2 datasets as shown here. One on the left has only 10 instances and the one on the right has 10,000 instances. Now say we select the value of k as 5. In this case, the validation set for the right hand side would be 2 instances. On the left, it would be 2,000 instances. If we look closely, the training data on left side is very low for a predictive model. And any small increase in the amount of data would be beneficial to train the model. So say we consider the value of k as 10. The training size here increases from 8 to 9. While in this case the increase would be say 1,000 points, which is not very significant. So to summarize, we can say that leave one out cross-validation is very useful practice when working with small datasets, especially for datasets below 100 instances. In order to find a middle group between the computational expense and the datasets, which are not very small, we can use the concept of leave P out cross-validation and select a value of P according to the computational complexity and the training data required. So now we know how to validate the performance of our model using k-fold cross-validation. This is one of the most commonly used validation techniques out there, especially in data science competitions. Thank you.